Okay, hi guys! So for today, for the laboratory part of the histology, we'll have to discuss microscopy. And I believe that you already had an extensive discussion with microscopy before, especially during your anatomy and physiology. However, okay, kailangan pa rin natin i-discuss, but briefly only. Okay, unlike before, okay, and guys, what is hard now is that, okay, you cannot actually do the microscopy yourself unless uh, you are very willing to buy your own compound microscope. Okay? But that is expensive. Okay? Take note na nasa 45,000 up to 100,000 depending on the brand of the microscope that you intend to buy. Okay? Unless later on you want to become a pathologist, then why not? Diba? Okay? Pwede naman. But again, I am not requiring you to buy microscope. Okay? So for today's discussion, we have the following intended learning outcomes. We recall the parts of light microscope. Okay, identify the different types of microscope and its function. Know the proper ways to use the light microscope, as well as a brief of its history, as well as definitions of terms including magnification, resolution, resolving power, okay, and total magnification. So, we proceed. So, microscopy, that is the science of investigating small objects using such an instrument called microscope. Why? Because why is it that microscope is very important in our profession? Okay? Because, di ba? Tanong and sagot. Okay? Because there are a lot of organisms causing diseases that are not visible to the naked eye. Okay? That's why we utilize the microscope to see or to check if samples have this pathogenic bacteria, like for example in microbiology. Okay? A patient suspected having a urinary tract infection is required to submit his or her what sample guys for urinary tract infection. Okay? Stool ba yan? Synovial fluid ba? CSF ba? Of course not. It should be urine. Okay? It should be urine to assess urinary tract infection. Okay? And we have the process called the gram staining wherein you will get a sample of the urine and then you will put it in a slide, you will fix it, you will dry it, and then you will stain it. And again, what is the purpose of staining? 3, 2, 1. That is to provide contrast. Okay? To provide contrast or color to make them visible under the microscope. Okay? So, going back again with the urinalysis, not urinalysis, but culture and sensitivity to determine if there are pathogenic bacteria in the urine. Okay? So, you can do that in the gram stain, but the gram stain is not a definitive diagnosis, okay? What I mean by definitive diagnosis that if the result, if it has bacteria there for the gram stain, it doesn't mean that that is already pathogenic, okay? Because definitely, guys, the urine has a lot of bacteria, but a good medical technologist would be able to identify if those bacteria are pathogenic or not, okay? Using laboratory methods, not only the gram staining, including the culture and sensitivity. Okay? So, the microscope comes from the Greek word micron, which means small. Okay? And scopus, that is aim. Okay? You aim to see small structures. Okay? So, that is for microscopy. So, microscope is an instrument used in microscopic anatomy for viewing objects that are too small to be seen by the naked or the unaided eye. Okay? Okay, next slide. Historical background. In 1950, Hans Janssen and his son Zacharias Janssen developed the first ever microscope. In 1609, Galileo Galilei was able to make the compound microscope. And in 1620, Christian Huygens, another Dutchman, who was able to develop a simple binocular microscope. Okay? So medyo OA siguro yung boses ni ma'am, but I'm really trying to convince myself to be energetic as I make this PowerPoint presentation because I'm really exhausted, guys. But I feel guilty, okay? I am having the guilt if I am going to give you just the PowerPoint presentation without me explaining it, okay? Kawawa naman kayo. So, please bear with me. Magsasawa talaga kayo sa boses ni Ma'am Suzy because I will be your instructor maybe until you graduate, okay? So, I hope guys, okay, please do not hate me because, when I was in college, so, magkukwento muna ako ng saglit lang. The tendency is that if you hate a teacher, most likely you will hate also the subject. Okay? So don't hate your teachers, guys. Okay? So don't hate them because you will not listen to them. Okay? Hindi kayo makikinig sa kanila kasi nga ayaw mo sa kanila. Okay? So please, guys, do not do that. Okay? You try to fake yourself loving your teacher so that you will love the subject and it will be easier for you to listen to your instructors and it will be easier for you to grasp the lessons, okay, and the teachings of your teacher. Okay? Kasi kapag ayaw mo sa teacher, ayaw mo ding makinig sa kanya. Sayang naman yung tinuturo. Okay, let's proceed with the next slide. So we have here a simple microscope. Okay, so this was a microscope that was developed long time ago. Okay, so Anton van Leeuwenhoek, okay, he is generally credited with bringing the microscope to the attention of biologists. So, si Papa Leeuwenhoek, he was a tradesman, okay? So, siya po yung credited for the microscope that we have today. So, siya yung Papa, di ba? Char. In 1661, he discovered bacteria, free-living, and parasitic microscopic protista, sperm cells, blood cells, microscopic nematodes. So, bacteria, what are bacteria again? These are prokaryotes, okay? So these are prokaryotes that can live on their own as unicellular organism. Okay, when we say free living, especially if those are free living parasites, okay, they can exist on their own. They can live on their own without being a parasite. Kasi kapag sinasabi nating parasite, dapat meron siyang other host na hinaharm. Okay, so that is for parasite. Okay, but we will have a deeper discussion on parasite, the different types of parasite, may commensal parasite, okay, may parasitic talaga na parasite when you reach your third year first sem with Ma'am Susie again. Okay? So, blood cells, wait lang. So, parasitic microscopic protista, okay? Sperm cells, of course, boys, you have this. Okay, unless girls, diba? Do you have this, girls? At your age, dapat wala pa. Blood cells. Okay? Blood cells. What are examples of blood cells, guys? Okay? So, mag-isip kayo. I'll give you time. Okay, blood cells. We have the red blood cell, the white blood cell. Okay, what is the other name for red blood cell? Erythrocyte. What is the other name for white blood cell? Leukocyte. And the microscopic nematodes. The nematodes, these are also parasites. Next slide. Okay, so we have here an example of a microscope. So we will discuss them on the last part, the different parts as well as the different functions of this microscope. Okay, total magnification. So we go to definition of terms. Okay guys, when we say total magnification, that is the visual enlargement of a specimen by an optical instrument. Okay, so magnification by the objective times the magnification by the eyepiece. Okay, so we have here guys, that is, okay, so we have there your eyepiece. Okay, so The eyepiece, the objective of that, the magnification of the eyepiece, that is 10. Okay, good. Kung meron sumagot ng 10, perfect. Okay, so the total magnification is you multiply the magnification of the eyepiece and the magnification of the objective. Okay, so for the compound microscope that we have in the laboratory, take note we have 4 objectives. Okay, so can you please enumerate them? So ano yung mga pangalan nila? Okay, I will give you time to do that, to think about those objectives. Okay, so we have the first, from the objective with the lowest magnification, we have the scanner. And what is the color of the band surrounding or which is present in the scanner? Di ba meron siyang kulay here? Okay, may kulay siya that would identify if what type of objective is that. So what is the color of the band present in the scanner? That is red. Pula. Okay, manok na pula. Pula yung sa scanner. How about the second objective? What is the name? That is the LPO. Okay, so the low power objective. And what is the color of the band of the LPO? That is yellow. Okay, good. Third, how about the third objective? That is if we have low, we also have high. Diba? That is the high power objective or the HPO. And what is the color of the band? That is blue. Perfect. Okay, and lastly, we have the oil immersion objective or the OIO. And what is the color of the band or the ring that is present in OIO? That is white. Okay, going to magnification, what is the magnification of the scanner?